Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Augustus, and I would like to welcome you back to another episode of Tsukihime. When we last left off, well, we started on our way firmly into Ciel's route. We got some more points with her, and, we got our first points with her, rather, and we got a new scene from the beginning. But that's not going to last. We're going to get some more scenes very soon, I promise. But we're not starting off with one. The first thing we encounter is a skipped scene. Okay. Let's see. We need to. Sorry about that. I had to adjust my chair a little bit. We need to stay in school for a little longer. I'm going to scooch my chair. Can't seem to get comfortable. As soon as I step out into the hallway, I run into a familiar face. Huh? What's up, Senpai? Do you have some business here at the second-year classroom? Yes. Business with a second-year student, to be precise. Ciel Senpai approaches with a smile. Listen, I have some nice snacks here, but no one to talk to. It would be a waste to get to eat them all by myself, so I came to catch an idle-looking person to talk to. I guess an idiotic-looking person would actually also fit. Someone to talk to? But there's no one left in the classroom. It's the same with all the other classrooms, too. Like I said, idiotic-looking person. You don't usually come to the second-year classrooms anyway, do you? You're on the lower floor, right? And if she wanted someone to talk to, aren't there plenty of third-year classmates she could talk to? She really didn't need to come all the way up here. Shouldn't you think about asking your third-year classmates? Conversations would probably be better. Hold on a tick. I need to, I'm thirsty. I'm going to drink some, of my beverage. Hold on, I will be back in just a second. Alright, sorry about that. My throat was a touch dry, and hopefully it paused and unpaused correctly because it kind of froze for a second there on OBS. Whatever. Yes, but today I'm in the mood to talk to younger guys. Plus, don't ask for a reason, it's just on a whim. Well, I won't ask. I probably wouldn't be able to understand even if she told me. Senpai's smile disappears as she stares into my face. Are you free right now, Tono-kun? And we are still not getting it. I understand. I'm dense too. I'm dumb as hell. But even I would probably catch on to that. Well, if having nothing to do means I'm free, then I'm definitely free. That's not always true though, because sometimes you want to do nothing. Senpai grabs hold of my sleeve. Well then, you are now caught. Let's go have some tea. Senpai invites me with a smile. There's no reason for me to decline the offer, and besides, it should be fun talking with Senpai. Sure. I'll come along if it's okay with you. Then it's decided. Alright, let's go. Still holding my sleeve, she begins walking down the hall with a light gait. Wow. Our school has a room like this? Could it be for the tea ceremony club? Yes, it's for the tea ceremony club room for now. Seems like it hasn't been used until I came though. Senpai steps onto the tatami mat and starts preparation with a rattling noise. Club room, huh? If that's the case, won't the other club members be coming? It'd be bad for an outsider like me to be caught here, right, Senpai? It's okay. It may be the tea ceremony club room, but there aren't any other members except for me. Thanks to that, I can use it freely during lunchtime and after school. Here we go. Smiling, Senpai begins spreading the cushion. Tea is tea, but it looks like this is really going to be a serious tea ceremony. To be honest, I'm a bit overwhelmed. You know, tea ceremonies has been something that I've read quite a bit in manga and in this, I guess. I don't remember, well, I've not watched much anime, so I guess I haven't seen it in anime. But it's always something I've been curious to see, like, what it's properly done, and I will probably completely forget to look it up after this is over, so I can't say that I will. But anyway. Senpai, I don't have the slightest clue what to do. What are you talking about? I only know up to the pouring bit myself. With that blunt reply, Senpai puts the teapot, some cups, and some tea cakes onto a plate. We are just going to have a casual conversation, so there's no need to be so formal. It isn't any fun that way, is it? Smiling softly, Senpai pours tea into her own cup. I just don't get you, Senpai. Mumbling, I pour my own tea. I slurp some. Picking up the tea cake and putting it in my mouth, I sip again at the tea. I was never involved with it, but the Arima family is a prominent tea ceremony family. Being raised in a household like that, I'm used to drinking tea and doing nothing. Senpai looks at me with a somewhat troubled expression. What's wrong, Senpai? You look a bit unhappy. Eh? I was just surprised at how calm you were about all of this, Tono-kun. Really? Well, my family is a strict one, so I'm used to these kinds of things. More importantly, Senpai, didn't you have something you wanted to talk to me about? I do. The continuation of what we were talking about during lunch. What were we talking about during lunch? Oh, you mean my family? Senpai nods to indicate a yes. If you don't mind, I would like to hear more about it. I was curious about it since we stopped halfway. It's not that I mind, but hearing about my family isn't very interesting. It'd be a waste of time. I don't mind if it's not interesting, I just want to hear about it. You sure are an eccentric, Senpai. Maybe I am. Senpai laughs. Alright then. Let's continue from before. Oh, no, I was right the first time. You said you moved to your home. What do you mean by that? Senpai asks, full of curiosity. Well, the conversation this afternoon must have been pretty fragmented for Senpai, since she doesn't know any of the circumstances. Let's see. Basically, I'm a guy who's been disinherited. I was seriously injured after getting caught up in a traffic accident when I was 9 years old. The injuries themselves somehow healed, but after that, I easily collapsed from anemia and threw up my food. That's why I was entrusted to my relatives, the Arimas, while I recuperated. Sorry, I couldn't see the beginning of the word because of my shitty vision. So in other words, the Arimas have been your parents who raised you since you were 9, right? That's right. I know my old man hated me for some reason, and that once I had been trusted to the Arimas, I would never go back home. Go back to the Tono Mansion, that is. That's why, well, I thought I'd just continue to live as a son of the Arimas forever. That's what I thought, but my old man kicked the bucket recently. Arihiko didn't seem to know that, actually. If you recall the conversation that was had, he had said about our old man calling us back after all this time, and we didn't correct him, and that might have been a mistranslation, or me misreading, or me misremembering, or, any combination thereof, but he did not seem to know that, interestingly. And that's when they told me to return to the mansion, now that my old man is no longer there, and I finally agreed. And that, pretty much, is my domestic situation. I end my story like that. Ciel Senpai gives a little nod silently. May I ask just one thing? Sure, if I can answer it. Go ahead. Alright then, I'll ask. Did you dislike your previous family? My previous family, the Arimas who had raised me as my parents? My mother and father weren't my real parents, and the unfamiliar building, which without a doubt was home to strangers. But completely regardless of that, no, I liked them. There were people who didn't care much that I wasn't related to them by blood. They were so warm to me that I felt bad about being depressed all by myself. And for them to love me no matter what, I didn't think it was a bad thing. I was loved by those people. That's why soon, even one day sooner, I have to truly become family to them. I had been telling myself those words since I was young. Since a very, very long time ago. Over and over till I swore till I would practically pass out. Just like Arihiko said, I didn't have a complaint about the Arima family. They treated me well, and I think I responded to their affection too. Between us, even though I knew we were just playing at being a family, even if it was all just an act, I didn't feel any pain. No, I was happy instead. In a way, I had considered the Arima's parents and me to be the ideal nuclear family. But it was no good, was it? Yeah. Despite everything, there was a line I couldn't cross. This isn't your real family. No matter what I did, I couldn't get those words out of my head. I knew I should have been ignoring it, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know if you'd call it a childhood experience, but it had already become like a curse to me. Somehow, no matter where I was, I felt like a stranger to my family. Senpai is silent. Avoiding my gaze, she huddles her shoulders apologetically. See? It was boring after all, right? That's why I said it would be a waste of time. There's a helicopter passing overhead, and I don't know why. No, that's not true. It was a very meaningful story. Senpai forces a smile to try and diffuse the situation. But it was a little surprising because I thought of you as an easygoing person. Well, I am pretty easygoing. It's my personal philosophy to enjoy the present as much as possible. People are happier enjoying what is to come rather than being concerned about what happened before, right? Well, actually, there was an opinion I had inherited from an Arihiko. Enjoy what is to come? That sounds nice. Senpai sips her tea with a very gentle smile. I follow Senpai's example and place my lips on the cup. With a slurp, and the bitter tea washes down my throat with just a hint of sweetness. The helicopter is horribly distracting. I walk along a different path from the one I usually take. Passing through unfamiliar streets, I slowly approach the Tono Mansion. The surroundings are not completely unfamiliar. After all, I had lived there until I was 9 years old, 8 years ago. This is not the first time I have taken this path back to the mansion. My feelings are a little complex. The path home is nostalgic, yet fresh. Up until now, I had not looked forward to returning to the Tono household. And scroll. Now, it doesn't seem so bad. Sorry about that, I was scrolling up my flowchart because we're going through the choices faster than before because, of course we are. The house I lived in up until now, I was 9 years old. God, I'm dumb. Right now, my sister Akiya is in that utterly un-Japanese Western-style mansion. Tono Makihisa, my old man who hated me, and the master of the Tono household died a few days ago. My mother died from illness after Aki was born, so the Tonos had dwindled down to me and my sister. Being the eldest son, you would think I would ascend to become the Tono heir, but I have no such privileges. To become the Tono heir means being surrounded by a strict upbringing. I have lost count of the number of times my father scolded me over my dislike of not being able to live freely. That was when I got injured in that accident and my body became weakened. My father saw it as a good opportunity to get rid of me. His reasoning was something along the lines of, someone who could die at any moment can't become the heir, even if he is the eldest son. Sadly for my father, I betrayed his expectations by making a recovery, but my sister Akiya was already deemed to be the heir to the Tono household. And so I've heard that Akiya, who is already being raised harshly in order to become a proper daughter of the Tono household, received an even harsher upbringing than before. That was a long time ago. I played with Akiya in the mansion back before the accident. After that, I never saw her again. The life in the mansion I abandoned 8 years ago. These 8 years were long, and my memories of that time have largely faded. But in spite of that, there is one thing that even now continues to burn strongly within my heart, and that is a choice. I want to sip my drink very quickly. My alcoholic beverage of choice, which is not helping my poor reading skills. If you have not cleared through this, if you remember, we get a different scene, and we don't go to this choice. It actually is slightly different before this as well. I don't remember what the scene is, but it's not really important. I kinda wish we could get the previous scene, the original scene, the first time through scene, just because I like going through these when we go to the Far Side routes, because these are relating to the Far Side routes. And we're going to choose this one because I for sure don't want to choose this option until, well, the route in question. And I'd rather would not choose this one until we have Akiya's route, but I don't have a choice. I have one option or the other, so I'm taking the option about my little sister Akiya. Sweet little Akiya who could never hurt a fly. You already viewed this scene, would you like to skip? Oh, okay. That makes things easier. You've already viewed this scene, would you like to skip? Yep. In terms of regard, I don't want any regard. So we're gonna do this one and skip. Skip. This one, yeah, read both of them. Skip. Okay, here we go. A new scene at last. Man, this is a very tasty drink I've made myself. The morning lessons are over. It's lunch break and Arihiko has gone ahead to the cafeteria. Now, where should I go, or where should I have my lunch? Well, we can go to the classroom, the cafeteria, or the tea ceremony room. The tea ceremony room is, well, a new choice. So let's choose that and get more points with Ciel. The helicopter is still horribly distracting. I don't know what they're circling for. I live pretty close to a freeway and like right off of a major street, so, you know, it's probably something related to that, but who fucking knows? It's just annoying. Hopefully it's not anything major and, you know, I'm not an enormous asshole, but, well, I'm an enormous asshole anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess I'll go take a look at the tea ceremony room. I'm sure Senpai said something yesterday after class about having lunch there. If Senpai is there, maybe I can talk to her while having lunch. Most importantly, I enjoy having lunch with Senpai, and I'm also worried about the news story from this morning. Alright. Gotta strike while the iron's hot and all. I head off to the tea ceremony room before Arihiko notices my plan. Good. That way we can be alone with Senpai. I knock on the tea ceremony room door. After a brief wait, the door creaks open and Senpai pokes out her head. Huh? Tono-kun? Puzzled, Senpai tilts her head. She doesn't seem annoyed, but it seems like she really doesn't understand why I came here. would you like to have lunch together, Senpai? Holding out the bread I purchased at the cafeteria, I tell her why I'm here. Better be curry bread. Lunch? I'm happy to hear you ask me, but... Senpai thinks it over, looking troubled. Things don't look good. It seems Senpai isn't very interested. I guess I've got no choice. I decide to employ a little strategy. I have curry bread. Senpai's face becomes bright and cheerful. I had a feeling about this from yesterday's lunch, but I am amused at her reaction. I'll give you this in exchange for, and thanks for yesterday's lunch, so why don't we eat together? Yes, please. I just put the tea on. Senpai hastily vanishes inside. Following her, I enter the tea ceremony room. As I enter, it becomes obvious why Senpai was hesitating back then. There are corpses lining the tea. On top of the tatami mat is an already empty lunchbox. It seems like Senpai has long since finished eating her lunch. Hono-kun, would you like green or English tea? English tea's pretty good. Well, you have to be specific. Does it just mean black tea, or like Prince of Wales tea, or Earl Grey tea, or what kind of English tea we talking here? I mean, I like all of the above, but you got to be specific, eh? Green tea, please. More importantly, have you already finished lunch, Senpai? Yes, just a little while ago. I slept in this morning, so I didn't have any breakfast, and I was hungry all morning. It was terrible. I see. Well, you don't have to force yourself to accompany me. Sorry for intruding on you. I'll eat in the classroom, so please take your time relaxing. Eh? You mean you're not going to give me any bread? Senpai's sorrow seems to resound from the bottom of her heart. No, I mean, you must be full, right, Senpai? Not at all. I'm hungry. It doesn't appear she's just saying this to make me feel better. Really? Well, I'll be intruding then. Is this really okay with you, Senpai? The bread from our cafeteria really has volume, you know. No need to worry. If it's food I like, then I can eat limitless amounts of it. That bashful smile is most probably not from shyness, but from anticipation of the curry bread. She is a woman of many mysteries. Someone who could be so happy over one curry bread in this day and age could be quite precious. If you ever read Take Moon, or it's Take Moon, I declare, then there are some interesting connotations with this. Or I guess if you've watched Carnival Phantasm, but what I've watched of Carnival Phantasm, I watched before I ever read any Tsukihime, so I need to go through and watch Carnival Phantasm again with knowledge of Tsukihime. Though I guess I have to play Kigetsu Toya for it, and whatever. Excuses. I'm full of them. Senpai eats one while I have two, and we have tea afterwards. Kneeling on the top of the mat, Senpai and I casually sip our tea. It would have been great if it wasn't during lunchtime at school, but that's life. That's what all the people say. How is your new house, Tono-kun? It seems something terrible happened this morning. Yeah. Well, the inside of the house is really fancy, but there's these really noisy stray dogs at night. I guess it's also bad that there's no TV and no Japanese-style room, so there's nowhere to drink tea like this. What? A stray dog? You mean what happened at your house wasn't related to those serial killings? I don't really know. There's this really high wall all the way around our mansion, and they say they found bloodstains there. But listen, that's where I saw the stray dog last night. I couldn't say that. Well, anyhow, it's got nothing to do with us. let's stop talking about unpleasant topics now that we've finally got an opportunity to relax. Not at all. Please, we are residents of this town, so I think the killings do have something to do with us. Holding her cup in one hand, Senpai casts a serious gaze towards me. Yeah, I guess that's true, but you'll be okay if you don't go walking in the streets late at night, won't you? There's been 8 people killed so far already, right? With that many victims, the police ought to catch the killer any day now. Geez, Siki-kun, you don't have any sense of danger, do you? The newscasters have been saying the same thing since the 3rd victim was found, but they haven't caught them yet, have they? Well, that's true. It's just that I can't really relate to it when they give it such a stupid caption, like the modern-day vampire. I'm sorry, I really did take it too lightly. We live in this town, so we've got to be careful, right? Yes, I'm glad you understand. Senpai smiles in a satisfied manner. But, Senpai, why are they calling him a vampire anyway? Well, the blood was drained from all the bodies, right? Isn't that kind of like a vampire? You really think so? Isn't it said that you become a vampire yourself once a vampire drinks your blood? These victims are all dead with the corpses to prove it, so they don't really have to go calling him a vampire. Senpai laughs and nods. Do you really believe in things like vampires, Tono-kun? Hey now, I'm just saying that's how the news is presenting it. If they really were vampires, there wouldn't be any dead bodies left, just like I said earlier. Kind of reminds me of Let the Right Ones In, which is a fantastic book if you've not read it before. Yes, you're right. But can't you think of it like this? The people who were found dead died because they couldn't become vampires. There are actually people who can and can't become vampires, and those who could become vampires wouldn't show up as dead bodies after being attacked by one, because they're still alive somewhere. That's what you'd call a horror story, Senpai. Yes, exactly. I'm sorry to say, there's no punchline. Laughing, Senpai sips from her cup. Kept wanting to say smile for some reason. While we are having our rambling conversation, lunchtime ends. And I think this, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to finish off this episode of Tsukihime. Again, not that much happened, and I, well, sadly can't attempt a cliffhanger from knowledge of what happens next because, well, I don't exactly know what's going to happen next time. I don't remember what all is going to be shown. But I think next time we almost certainly will get choices to, well, go to this route or not. I know we get a choice, for, oops, shit, I just zoomed out of my thingy. Whatever. Another Ciel choice, but, other than that, I don't know. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're going to end off, and I hope to see you all next time in Tsukihime.